Okay, guys, welcome to the Hard City Raindrops podcast. My name is Will BK. This is the Under the Streetlights album, Ep.2. Welcome to the program, everybody. We are going to talk about something a little bit different than we did last episode. And today, we're just going to talk about, tonight, we are going to talk about that side hustle. Like, what's it going to take to do that side hustle when you're working a 9 to 5? No matter what it is, if it's just something like going to the gym every day after work, or you're trying to start your own business maybe. So I'm going to key down on some points and some things that I have done to get where I'm at as far as doing this podcast and YouTube, because I have a 9 to 5 job as well. I have a dog. I don't have kids, but I do have some points in here for kids. For people who have kids, even though kids have kids these days. But anyways, so yeah, that's what tonight's episode is going to be about. So that is what I'm going to do. Now, before we jump into that, I have heard, because you guys may notice this podcast jump around a little bit, and that's just my style. I hear a lot of like different podcast guys, and I've done a lot of research, and it's like, you have to do this way, you have to do this certain thing, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, well, why? I'm not gonna I don't like just one thing. I like multiple things. I like a multitude of things. I'm into so many different things as far as like weightlifting, firearms, EDC, knives, tools, camping, fishing, hiking, rock climbing, watches, fashion, men's health. I mean, dogs, dog training. I'm into everything you can possibly think of. I want to know and learn about it. So we're just going to talk about, books, movies, just news, anything. So that's why the first episode, it felt relevant to speak about what was going on with the shutdown and just kind of how to prepare yourself for that. And we're going to touch more into dive deeper into the aspect of that, how to prepare yourself and all that stuff for like whatever. Maybe it's the end of the world, or maybe it's just a snowstorm that comes through, knocks your power out for a week. So we'll do all those kind of things, but that's what's leading me up to this whole podcast now, because basically what it is a bunch of people telling you how you need to do something, and me just saying, well, I'm just going to do it the way I've always done it, which is the way I want to do it. So who's saying that this isn't the next new way to do it? There's no one saying that. So maybe statistically speaking, from an analytic standpoint, it doesn't make sense, because most people who do podcasts who jump around subject to subject probably aren't successful. But I think if you do it right and you capture your audience, you'll be okay. So, which really leads me to this whole thing. So for me not to listen to people and to just do what I feel is best for me and my show and the podcast and YouTube and whatever. So that's kind of what my first point is for you guys trying to start your own business, or maybe you're somebody who wants to build furniture on the side, or you're an artist, or maybe you're just trying to get your life together and you're trying to like stay more healthy and active and be fit. But even doing that is tough with a 9 to 5. Because who wants to come home from work 9-10 hours and then go to the gym? I did it today, and then I still have to take care of the dog, and then I still have to bang out this episode. So it's 8:52, and I still have to go to sleep by a certain time, because one of the most important things I want you always to remember when you're doing a side hustle is not to forget about where you're at now in life, because it's so important. What do I mean by that? Like, I have a job, so my heart has to be there when I'm at my job. It's because it's going to be so easy for you to be like, all I want to do is, what my side hustle is. So, like, say you're an artist and you just love to draw so much, and you love to focus. By the way, I am an artist. I'm just going to kind of take things. I'll give some examples of things that you can do too. I'm just saying. So, like, just say that, for example, you just love it so much and you really get hooked into that. And, next thing you know, you're, like, not focusing on your actual job, your actual 9 to 5. And that can be poisonous, because it can lead to just you being discouraged and frustrated. And when you're frustrated in life, in any aspect of what you're doing, it's like you can't be frustrated in the beginning of the day and then go home and be like, yeah, you know what I mean? So sure, you can do that, but it's not the best way to do it. I think ultimately the best way to do it, everybody on YouTube watching, say hi to Storm since she's jumped up on my lap. Hi, little mama. So I think the best way to do it is to just look at everything as positive as you possibly can, and that's really the ultimate way to do it, I believe. And you can probably ask most people who do any kind of side hustle that. Now, sure, it's going to take a lot of work, but, a lot of work doesn't mean come home from work and just spend the entire rest of the night until the wee hours of the morning and get an hour of sleep mastering some other kind of job so you can get out of your 9 to 5. It's got to be, you have to really establish something with yourself and tell yourself, this is how I'm going to do it. This is the way that it's going to be. You got to kind of segment it, even if you have to, so another point is going to be, I should have probably numbered these, but we're just going to do it like this. Another example is to be, not rush it. You don't want to rush. You just take your time, and even if you have to do whatever your side hustle thing is, like say for me, I'm podcasting. Do it once a week. Maybe you're a YouTuber. Maybe you're making YouTube videos once a week. Maybe you're a car detailer. Maybe you're just doing it on the weekends. And then it turns into more and more and more as you get better and better and you get better at scheduling. And a key part of this whole thing is to be organized in it, which is always going to fall back. Anything I ever say on this channel about anything as far as survival, as far as building your life and bettering yourself as a human being is always going to boil back down to the things you have in your pocket. I'm always going to go back to that as kind of like a analogy, because when you're organized in your pockets, when you have things where they need to be and they're easy to access, it just makes life that much simpler. So, when you first get up in the morning, do you know exactly what you're going to wear? Do you have the same things you put in the same pockets every day? Or is it like, you're rushing out the door, you don't have a sock that matches, or, your shoe, just like one shoe's here, one shoe's there, I forgot to dry my clothes or something like that. It's always, I keep things so when you start doing that, organizing your pockets, it's really just makes life easier. So I want you to start doing that first. When you really become an organized person, and besides, most people who aren't organized aren't really going to be able to do too many side hustles. A lot of people do a lot of talking. I'm just saying it takes a lot to do what I'm actually talking about doing right, and to be successful at it, to actually one day have to look yourself in the mirror and be like, holy crap, I can actually quit my 9 to 5 job and do this. Like, I can do this. And that's the ultimate goal, right? Like, if, say, you're a baker, you're baking cookies for people, or whatever you're doing at home, and maybe you're a craft, maybe you're selling arts and crafts or T-shirts, or maybe you're a motivational speaker, maybe you're a writer, maybe you're an author, you're writing science fiction novels. So in that aspect of it, my advice would be to do the same thing. Pick an hour a night and write, a few hours a week. Dedicate those few hours a week to that and get it done, And you don't have to push yourself so far and be like, I got to write this freaking book, because you don't have a deadline. You're doing this on the side. You don't have anything. You don't have, like, a publisher that's, like, up your butt, like, hey, we got to get this damn book published by this date or whatever. So kind of just take your time and master and do it like that, because it'll be more rewarding. So set your goals. If you set your goals low, you'll be able to, like, say, for instance, say I set my YouTube goals at 10 million subscribers, right? That's an out of the freaking question goal for me for this year. I'm not going to get 10 million subscribers unless Casey Neistat says in every one of his next videos, yo, go subscribe to Hard City. That's what it would take to do that, you know? And in that case, then yeah, I probably would get a lot. But well, I can't say never because it could happen. I mean, I could run into him and become best friends with him. What do I know, you know? Although the way I've commented on his channel lately, probably not. But anyway, so yeah, set my goals low. Like I set, like, okay, well, I'm gonna hit 2,000 subscribers by summertime, and that was actually a legit goal. Well, I think it was, somebody said 3,000 for Christmas, and I was like, dude, that's not gonna happen. And that was in July, and I'm already at 2,000. It's a little after Christmas, but I said to myself, okay, well, I want it 2,000 by summer, and I'm going to smash that goal. I'm going to hit 2,000 probably tomorrow or the next day. So it will, technically, some number says I'm already there, but that's a very rewarding feeling now. That's going to keep me motivated to continue. So when you set a goal to a specific high standard, and you're like, I got to get that, and it's too far out of reach, and you don't get it, it's kind of counterintuitive. Now you're kind of like, oh, well, fuck, now this is not working. It's not fucking working, I'm just done with it. And you don't do it. You just quit. A lot of people do a lot of things, and they get all into it, and then they just don't finish it. And part of the reason is because they set their freaking goals too high, and that's that, So it would almost be like me getting discouraged because of something like that, not hitting 3,000 subscribers by Christmas, and then buying all this stuff, which I did, for the podcast, the computer, the camera, all the soundproofing, and just, all the different stuff I needed to get to on top of that, like, just as far as cables and wires and just a bunch of crap. And then just like I do it a couple podcasts, and then like, oh, this isn't working, or I'm just there, just quit and lay off it. So my dog decides she wants to play now. So yeah, that's kind of what I want you guys to do. Just take it easy on the goals, and set them really low, and you'll be thanking me one day. I promise you. If you're looking at some way to make yourself to be, you're looking at to be some kind of maybe an entrepreneur, or maybe you're just, there's so many different things you can do nowadays. God, maybe you're a coffee maker. Maybe you want to open your own coffee house, and you're just really super awesome at making coffee or something. I mean, just think of something. The world nowadays is endless of possibilities. If you're a person nowadays who is sitting at home wondering, woe is me, I can't fucking do shit, I don't know why these people are so blah, and blah, 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 and and you come home from work, and you sit your ass on the couch and play, Red Dead Redemption or whatever the fuck else, and, that's why. I mean, when you do something like this, I'm going to have to tell you, you're going to have to stop that kind of shit. There's no time for it. There just isn't. But speaking of which, you still do have to make time for it. So what I mean is, set like a Friday night. Take a break. Don't push yourself too hard. And I know that. That's why I went on a date with this girl, Haley, on Friday. Maybe I shouldn't have said her name. Well, I think she'll be okay. This girl, Haley, I went out with on Friday night. I went downtown. You guys might have saw my Instagram. I took a break. I had to take a break, man. I'm like, too much YouTube. And I've been doing YouTube for a while now, but I just really started editing the videos and taking it to another level, and it's really showing, because I pushed myself to the next level, but I also never gave up. And I want you guys, if you're trying to really figure this out, and you landed on this by some grace of God, and you're like, well, this sounds interesting, then, go take a look at all my past YouTube videos and just be like, wow, your videos really did suck. Because they were horrible. I did them with a Metro PCS cell phone. They were bad audio, bad lighting. I didn't know. I didn't care either. And I just, but it came to a point where I was just like, I really like this. And I'm starting to get some subscribers here, and people are starting to listen to what I'm saying. And, my information is good, and, people are starting to talk. And, it's really starting to motivate me and push me to the next level. And people are like, hey, your car rants or whatever. I think it came to the car rant episode I did where people were like, a lot of times I just put you on in the car and listen to you at work. And I'm like, really? I think it was one of my close friends has said that to me. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, man, maybe I should start a podcast, man. So, then I just went hard. I went hard as fuck, man. I just, like every weekend, like almost every single night, I had to do a video about something this year. And that's what I did. But now that I have what I have with as far as camera equipment goes, it's a lot harder. And I'm not here like, whoa, it's me, my life is so hard. This is what I choose to do. So, and I fucking love it. I love the editing. I love creating this content for you guys. But it's a lot harder and it's a lot more work. Okay? So, doing the last couple of videos that I've done with the camera and editing through the MacBook, it's put me at a place where I'm like, okay, I can't do this every day. There's just no way I can do it every day. So, as far as no matter what the heck you're doing, man, it doesn't even matter. Say I wrote down a few things, I think. Did I? Let me see if I can find them here. No. Furniture makers, I put like a baker, a cook, I know I did put something like a gym, something for a gym. Maybe you're an artist, maybe you're a poet, maybe you're somebody who works on computers, maybe you're in the building trade, t-shirts, maybe you're trying to, all those different things. It really doesn't matter what it is, just whatever you're trying to do other than what you're doing. And call it a hobby. Maybe it's a hobby. Call it a hobby, right? Because a lot of people see you're hobbyists. Because I was always that one person who was like into something. I'd get into something and then it would be like, well, whatever. I kind of fall off it. But with the whole EDC stuff and the pen thing and the everyday carry thing, that is something I really became passionate about because it was always there. That was something that was always there and I just didn't know about until I saw it was a thing on YouTube. And I'm like, whoa, these guys are doing bag dumps and pocket dumps. I'm like, yo, I got stuff in my pockets. And, like, I do that. Like, I've done that since I was a kid. Like I say it all the time on my YouTube channel. Like, I was the kid with the freaking Space Maker or, the binder with the different pen colors and stuff. Like, I was that kid. Like, I was a freaking nerd. And I don't, zero fucks given. I don't care. Like, that's me. So, anyway, I was the kid with the binder and the different colored pencils. And you were the kid unprepared. So, well, I don't know, you got a pencil? I never got that pencil back, did I? Okay, so moving on to some other things you want to do. I may have jumped off something there, but I forget. So we'll just move on. So there's certain people in your life that are going to bring you down. And this could be family, this could be close friends. You need to, is exuberate the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But you need to X those people out of your life, whatever it takes. You can't be around people like that. So these are bullshitters. These are people who say things that they don't do, and you pick up on them fast when you're somebody who's really going to work and then coming home, spending an hour or whatever, mastering your craft, and then you really start to be able to pick out people who, you see like a few weeks later and you're like, oh, how you coming along with that? Maybe you're a car builder, maybe you're building cars on the side, or maybe you have a specific car you're building, That's a hobbyist thing, but that maybe in the back of your mind, that's a dream that you want to be able to build cars like that. And, little do you know, you build this amazing vehicle and it takes you 3 years and you take it to a few shows and you get a few deals from some other customers. And then next thing you know, they're handing you $20,000 checks and you're able to start a company and a business with that. So, that's how you can start it and that's how you can kind of think of it. But then you run into people who you didn't see and maybe you're building your car all winter long, right? And you run into somebody in the winter who had some kind of dream or whatever or hobby they wanted to also accomplish. And you're like, yo, how'd you come along with that? And, and they're like, I just kind of, I didn't really do nothing with it. And, they just kind of flake off it and kind of drop, change the subject or whatever. And you pick up on those things fast when you're somebody who's putting in the work. So let go of them toxic people, man, who just toxic poison your mind. You can't do this. Woe is me. Those type of people, fuck that, man. You got to get those people out of your life as fast as possible. People who are always trying to drain your energy with negative shit. I got this going on. I can't catch a break. This, oh man, this happened. My car or something. It's always with people. It's always got something. Those type of people you want, sometimes you can't avoid them. Sometimes, it could be somebody that you are close with. Sometimes it could be somebody you love. Sometimes it could be family. Sometimes it could be a coworker, somebody you got to see every day or something. So you never really know. But you, in that way, you just kind of got to brush that off and ignore it, because those type of negative things will, if you're not strong enough and you're trying to do something, that kind of stuff it's easy for you to get trapped into that too and be like, yeah, man, my fucking shit too. I got it. I'm having a fucking bad time too, But you can't think of life like that. Even if you are, you just got to be like, you know what? Yeah, my fucking power's going to be due tomorrow and I don't have the money, but I'm sure I'll figure it out, or, try not to do that. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, just kind of look positive at it. Like, you'll figure it out. Like, you'll get it done. Like, no matter what, there's going to be a way. You can figure it out. And you know what I mean? Don't rely on other people to fix your problems and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I was getting at with that. And then also, if you really want to get into it and really spend optimal amount of time mastering your side hustle or your hobby, get rid of TV. You can't be nose deep in Netflix and Game of Thrones and whatever the fuck else you're watching, freaking reality TV, YouTube, shit like that. Now, if you're finding motivation in YouTube, I find motivation. I always pick myself to, like, there's certain times where I'll catch up on my YouTubes, like Sunday mornings and Saturday mornings, usually when I'm laying in bed, or like right before I go to bed is when I'll catch up on YouTube. And always when I'm driving home from work and when I'm going into work is when I'll listen to like other podcasts or whatever. So pick your times, pick your poison, but don't waste time doing it. Like, what else am I doing in the car besides learning how to do something? Like, a lot of times I've been driving a car for the last month or whatever. I was learning how to do podcasts from Shannon Hernandez, the Sean Man. So shout out to him because he's the man, and he really gave me a lot of really helpful pointers to get this started. And he also really pushed me to be like, dude, just fucking put it out there, man. So you gotta just start doing it. You know what I mean? You can't. The longer you put it off, I must have recorded 30 podcasts. And I remember when I first started YouTube, I did the same exact thing. I would put a YouTube video up and delete it. Put one up, delete it. Let it go for a month, delete it. Let it go for a couple weeks, delete it. I must have did 30 podcasts in the last 3 weeks and deleted every single one of them. Except for the last one that I put up on YouTube, which, because he's just like, you just got to do it, man. Just freaking start putting this stuff out there. So that's where I'm at now with it. And I want you guys to do the same thing, because that's really what it boils down to. So just stop talking about drawing. Just go to, if you want to be an artist or you want to be a baker, just start get the cookie dough, get the stuff you need to do. Make that first step, you know what I mean? Because it really, when you make that first step, is when you really made a conscious decision to, do what you're going to do. And it's just like, when I made that video the other day about minimalist, and that video is taken off, by the way. Thank you, everybody. But that video, and we're going to do a podcast on minimalism too, by the way. But, so, like, in that, like, it's the same thing. Like, when you make that first initial step, and the first initial step was to actually grab the trash bag and physically get something I own and throw it out. And that's like, it's kind of like that same, you can make that, storm. You can make that comparison with the two, because that's, I'm sorry about the little bit of background noise. My dog is like being a real pain. I can't get her to lay down and she just wants to play. Okay, so let's move on. But like, yeah, just get rid of those toxic people. Get rid of like pointless, like stupid TV and video games and stuff that's just gonna really burn time for no reason. Like and if you're gonna find motivation in YouTube videos or in podcasts, that's fine. But make sure you're doing it. Why? You're doing something else to kill birds with one stone. Driving to work. Working out. Maybe you're walking your dog. You walk your dog 45 minutes or an hour like I do. I mean, you got to put something on your ears because, whether it's a motivational speaker or just YouTube videos or somebody or whatever whatever your fix is to get you to be like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it, and they're telling me to do this, this is what I'm going to do, then that's what you should do, definitely, for sure, 100%. So make sure you're utilizing all the time you have, and that is what I want you to do. So next, we're going to actually talk about time. Okay, so time. Time is not on your side. Sorry to say. But it is, though. I mean, in a way, if you utilize it right. And there's a very good possibility that you're not. So you have 24 hours in a day, all right? You're sleeping for 7. You're working for 8 or 9. And that's still going to leave you with, 8 or 9 hours, I believe? I think. I had the math written down. Yeah, 9 hours, at least. Now, I hear a lot of people say, well, I'll just come home from work and then I'll freaking do it till 3 in the morning or whatever and go to work. You don't want to do that. No. Using your time efficiently means still getting the proper amount of sleep. You hear a lot of people, I don't sleep. Sleeps for the non-hustler, sleeps for, sleeping for pussies and blah, 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 blah. And, I don't have time to sleep. Actually, then I don't know what you're doing because you need sleep. So, and what do I mean by that? Because it can get kind of confusing because you hear it all the time. Now, if you listen to people who actually know what they talk about, not that I know what the heck I'm talking about, but I'm just telling you what works for me. You absolutely have to get enough sleep. And anything else is counterintuitive. So let me make this example for you. What do you think is better to do as far as sleeping goes? Okay, say you only get 2 hours of sleep because I only get 2 hours of sleep because I decide that I want to do another podcast after this. Okay, I want to bang out episode 3. It has to be done, which it doesn't. Okay, it does not have to be done. I would like it to be done before a certain date because on a certain date I'm going on another podcast and I would like to be able to plug my podcast and actually have material and content for people to plug into. Otherwise, it's pointless. But it doesn't need to be done. So let's just say you do that, or whatever it is. You feel like you have to, work longer, and that's gonna in some way, shape, or form help you. And screw my freaking day job. This is what I'm doing, which is the beginning when I said, do not do that. Your day job is very important still. Because that's what's going to bring you the money. Because what I do right now doesn't make me money. So maybe whatever you're doing is making you money, and if it is, and it might be beneficial for you to start thinking about quitting your day job anyway, because if you could do it for 8 hours a day, then you should be, especially if you're going to make more money. And I think for most people what it is with that is you just got to take that leap. It's very scary. You don't have insurance. What if it doesn't work out? What if? But what if it does? So, again, think positive. So if it's the type of thing where you're making cash, like if I was making, guys, right now I'm not making any freaking money. It took since July to make $90 on YouTube. So just don't think that I'm making any kind of freaking money off any of this. Now, if I could make over $1,200 a week, then I would do this for sure, 100% full-time every day, and this would be my life, and I hope it does get to that. But right now, this is like a hobby. pretty much. I'm here giving you guys my information for free. I don't have Patreon. I don't believe in Patreon. I think Patreon is for people who are, we're going to get into another podcast, Patreon, and how these guys are all patriotic about Patreon. Patreon, support me on Patreon. Oh, Second Amendment. Oh, this amendment. Yeah, what about freedom of speech? Remember that one? But anyway, which they clearly don't stand behind. Just ask Sargad of Akkad, or I forget. I think I might have butchered that. So anyway, what I was trying to say is sleeping. Let's say you're continuing. You're doing that, and you're what you're doing is maybe you're a writer, right? And you're like, I just got to get this last paragraph done. It's been 4 hours. You get home from your day job, and you're super freaking tired and worn out, and you're just like, and you're going in your fourth hour in your side hobby job or whatever it is, and you're not being efficient because you're not getting enough sleep. So if you got that amount of sleep, you would be able to maybe get 7 paragraphs written instead of 4 half-ass written paragraphs that you're probably going to have to redo anyway. You might have spelled things, your poor grammar. And I'm using writing as an example because there's so many things that can go wrong. There's so many different variables involved in writing a story, where that if you don't get enough sleep and you don't have energy in your mind and you're not eating right and you're not taking care of yourself and you're not thinking positively, then you can screw it up and you can be writing things that don't make sense, or it's almost like somebody who's trying to climb Mount Everest with no air. Matt, and you get to that top and you're just you don't have air. Your body's looking for ways to exuberate. It's I don't know what that word is, but your body's looking for ways to function under the most harshest conditions because it's not ready for that. It's not aware. Your blood is boiling because you're such high altitudes. You're developing what the heck is the name of that disease you get in the air loss of air? I forget. I'm into climbing. I like to rock climb with ropes, not Mount Everest rock climb with no air, 28,000 feet. But, you know what I mean? So, like, you need the energy. You gotta sit those batteries. You gotta eat. You gotta be organized. And it's everything that I'm saying is basically, you could segment it into things like it's all gonna make sense. So if you get a good night's sleep, you go to work, you do your 8 hours, maybe you even come home and take a nap for 15, 20 minutes, half hour, okay? Then you go to the gym for an hour. Next thing you know, it's 6 o'clock, 6:30. Hang out with your kids. If you have kids, I have some pointers for you too, because a lot of people are like, well, I have kids. You don't have kids. Look, if you have kids, then look for either a way to include them into what you're doing. So if you want to be a YouTuber, make vlogs with your kids or somehow involve your children. Or if you can't, then I don't know. Look for ways around it. There's always a way. Maybe you're just going to have to stretch it out to a longer period of time. Maybe you'll only get 1 day a week to yourself. But that 1 day a week is what you need to spend doing your hobby or doing what you want to do if you have a goal. Some people don't care. Some people are just like, whatever, I'm good with my job. I'll come home, hang out with the kids, go to bed. That's fucking life. I want more. And, I know there's a lot of people that want more, and because there is more. So, if you're on that tip, then that's what you have to do. So if you have kids, either make for a way to include them or just stretch it out to a longer period of time. Because obviously, if you have kids, doing a hobby 7 days a week is out of the fucking question, right? I know my best friend has 2 kids. And his entire life is like soccer and baseball, and then maybe whatever he wants to do as far as his hobbies, which are like playing softball or tattooing and stuff. Like my best friend, he doesn't know it, but he's a huge motivation on people. He just doesn't really know it, I think. But what he does is the exact perfect thing of a person who could be a 9 to 5 or with children and a wife and a house and priorities and things, but still I don't think he has any motivation to like do anything other than work. I think he might want to start selling houses or something. I don't know. I can't speak for him. Maybe we'll have him on a podcast, talk about dad life or some shit maybe. But what I'm trying to say is he does some things like softball. He does like some other tattoo stuff he was doing once in a while. But he does it when he has time for himself, and it's like one day a week. I think he just stretches it out. But other than that, it's kids, 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 kids. So, you gotta, when you're doing those kind of things, and even for me, and when you're single, then you have to really not forget about that. I can't forget about my main job. I have a main job that's very important. When I go there, I have to give it 100%. I can't be in it like, I fucking can't stand this. All I want to do is podcast. I can't think like that. That's, when I'm at work, I have to be 100% there, or I'm gonna fail at this too, and because something's just not gonna happen right somewhere. So you feel what I'm saying, guys? So that's my advice for you for that. Now moving on to what else can we talk about? Because we still got some things here, I think. So definitely, like, all right, if you have a wife or something, you want this person to be very supportive of you, right? Maybe you have a girlfriend or maybe you have a wife, and they should be supporting you in your efforts to do whatever you're doing. Or otherwise, I don't probably know why you got married or dating anyway. If they're the type of people, that's fucking stupid, you can't do that. That sucks. And if you don't have the strength enough to just be like, you know what, screw you, I'm out of my life, I want to do this, then I don't know what to tell you there. But that's a bad situation to be in. I hope that's not the case for anyone. But if it is, you just have to really be strong and know that there is a way out of it. And if you're not happy, ultimately is with the end game is there. If you're not happy with whatever is going on with your relationship, and maybe you want more into life, then you got to make a decision there. So no matter what you do, you have to get better at it. So no matter what it is, constantly look for growth in what you're doing. So I had just recently upgraded all my camera equipment and everything on YouTube, and pretty much everything that I have done here is all upgraded. And that is the growth that I was looking for. And you want to kind of look for that same thing no matter what it is. Maybe it's let's kind of go back to writing. So maybe you're looking for one story was okay, but the next story was like, whoa, man, people were really enjoying that. And then the next one was like, okay, this is like Harry Potter blockbuster shit going on in your head. So I think you all have that potential no matter what it is. You just have to kind of find your niche. We all have something deep, deep, deep down that we are really great at. We just need to unlock it and find it. And I think mine is this, being on the camera and being on the podcast, whatever it is. This is just, I feel right at home. And had it not been for people throwing it in my face like, yo, man, you're really good at that. Like, before, because I was a rapper, like, I would rap. I'd be like, hey, my name is Billy. Yo, I'm from Philly. Ticky, I want to be Slim Shady, you silly. But no, I used to think I was a rapper, and I sucked. I mean, I was okay. I had the voice. I had the, I could go, I could rap, I could flow, I could rap, I could do a flow, and I could have a rhythm to a beat and get it done. But my rhymes, I would go scatter, and I'd be like, everything would rhyme, and I'd be like, yeah, I'd walk around in the park, my Glock, it was sparking, and my blah, 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 and it just would make no sense. So, and that's just how my rap career went. I came out with one song. If anybody could find it, I would die if somebody could find a link to this. If you find a link to this song, I'm going to challenge to anybody who listens to this podcast and anybody who hears this on YouTube, if you can find this song by Billy Toxic, BILLYTOXIC, it's called No Guts, No Glory. You might be able to find it on MySpace Music. That was my song. I wrote it. I rapped it. Me and my best friend that I talked about earlier in this podcast went to a studio in New Jersey and rocked it. And I remember writing the last 2 verses like on the way, because I knew I had studio time for months. That was just one of those things, being young and just not have the ambition to just fully really do it. I mean, I'm sure if I really wanted to, I could have probably been like Macklemore, or something. But I don't know, man. It just wasn't my thing, I guess. This is, but I think I've always had a niche for like the microphone, the camera, and stuff like that. So I just had to find my calling. So before we go, guys, because we're gonna start wrapping it up, I just wanted to give you one last point, and that is to find motivation in every single thing that you see, do, touch, hear, look at. No matter what it is, find motivation in it. Everything you see, every struggling person you see, if you see someone struggling, find motivation in it. If you see somebody running down the street jogging at 4 in the morning, find motivation in it. If you see another like struggling YouTube channel, like under 1,000, under 2,000 subscribers, under 5,000 subscribers, who's hustling, putting out videos, find motivation in it and subscribe to them. Subscribe to these little guys, man. They're the ones who are putting the work. You can find motivation in Casey Neistat, or someone like from Wrangler Star, or Nothing Fancy, or Shane Dawson, or Jake Paul. Or I'm hoping you not find motivation in that clown, but these huge big YouTubers who have millions of subscribers, and yeah, that's great. You can find motivation in them, but they're where they are right now, and they're not in the trenches. Find those people in the trenches, like my buddy Jay, who's tinting. He tints cars, man. He's in the trenches right now. He's tinting cars. He's the owner of the place. He's still out there working his butt off every day. Find motivation in people who are in the trenches working to master their craft. And find motivation in that anyway. Maybe you're just listening to this because you just want to listen to it, and maybe you're just trying to find motivation in life in general, and that's fine. Because like I said, maybe like in the beginning, maybe you're just trying to Storm, get out of here with your freaking paws. The freaking dog, she wants to do like tap dancing right now. Anyway, maybe you're just trying to get fit. Maybe you're lifting weights and you're trying to find motivation in that, but like it's easy to give up on that. For one, it's so easy to give up on the gym stuff. Gains are hard. You really have to be with it 100% all the time. But when you really stick it and you start finding results, it can be very nice. So anyway, maybe you're just trying to do that and just live healthy and better. No matter what it is, just find motivation in it, guys. So anyway, also, don't let anyone hold you back. I don't care who it is. Maybe it's your wife. Don't let her hold you back. Maybe it's your mom. Don't let her hold you back. Anybody. No one. I had friends, a real quick story before the end. I had somebody tell me recently when I did a video, a pretty good one, and I doubt they're going to listen to this because they don't believe in me, and I can tell, and I know, and that's why I get rid of these people. So I did a video, and in the beginning I had my PF flyers, and I threw it on my ground, and he DMs me. I put a skit of it up on Instagram. He DM'd me and said, "What's this, a video about tying shoes?" So like right there, I just sense like, dude, you know what? You don't believe in anything I'm doing. You think it's a big fucking joke, and you know what? Fuck you. I don't need you in my life, and you know what? Whatever, man. So when I'm on top, and I will be, because I believe in myself. I believe in what I'm doing. I'll see you there. I'll see you there, buddy. Anyway, guys, don't let people like that ruin what you're trying to do. I really hope even if this helps one person, mission accomplished. You know what I mean? So anyway, holy crap, let's just talk till 45 minutes. What do you guys want to talk about for one more minute? No, but let's just end it. Yeah, this is podcast episode 2, and this is called That Side Hustle. The Side Hustle, I'm not sure how I'm going to title it yet, but something to do with hustling. So anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Guys, everyone on YouTube, thank you for subscribing, like, share, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do there. That's fine. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever you did. We have, and the next podcast you guys are going to love. You guys are going to love the next one. I'd love for you all to tune in for the next one where we talk about, I can't tell you because my sponsors won't allow me. They said, can't tell them anything. It's top secret. Don't tell them. And my sponsor's called Lick a Dog's Hot Dog. That's my sponsor. I just made that up. It's actually my own. I'm sponsoring my own self. Ha! Get that, patrons. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. That was so much fun.